Ashton Johnston again. I'm excited for today's interactive presentation. Our experiment today is referenced as the elephant toothpaste experiment. I figure that is because from the videos I've watched, the product resembles toothpaste, but it's elephant sized, like coming out of the tube. But I don't think that it'll quite look like that also from the videos I've watched because I just have hydrogen peroxide with 3%. But we'll see. But for today's experiment, I have dish soap. I have hydrogen peroxide, the 3%. I have some warm water. I have active yeast. And I have food coloring. And a basic version of this elephant toothpaste uses this glass container. Well, I'm going to use a combination of containers. And then, but with this one, I am going to add a few drops of dish soap and hydrogen peroxide. So I'll first pour the hydrogen peroxide. Maybe about there. There wasn't measurements that I found online. Every video I watched was a little bit different, so we'll sort of play around and see what we get. And just a few drops of dish soap. And then we can add, and we can sort of swirl it together, and then we can add some food coloring. I was thinking of adding 2 different colors, just for fun. So that's blue. And then down this side, some green. Well, I should have done blue and red to make purple. That would have been nice. That's okay. And for and then we added the food coloring. And then in this one, in this cup, this already has the yeast in it, which is active yeast, like I have right here. I need to add the hot water, and that activates the yeast. And I'm realizing this is too much water because that doesn't fit in the cup. So we'll just pour part of the water in there. I'm going to mix this together. And I wanted to use this cup because I felt like it was the best chance of me getting a good result. And now we are going to pour the cup with the yeast into the cup with the hydrogen peroxide, dish soap, and food coloring. And now it's foaming. That's so cool. It's so pretty. I like my color choices. I take that back. And so this reaction starts with hydrogen peroxide, which is H2O2, and that's very close to the molecular structure of water, but with an extra oxygen molecule. So when the yeast is activated and added to the solution, it quickly breaks apart the hydrogen peroxide and separates the oxygen from each H2O2 molecule and produces water and an oxygen. And then the oxygen molecule, the extra oxygen molecules become gas, and they're trying to escape the container via bubbles that are created because of the dish soap. And this causes an overflow of foam, and if it's a higher hydrogen concentration, it might escape like a tube, out of a tube like a tube of toothpaste, but for me, I just get the foam because I only had the 3%, but it still is very neat. And if I had a higher percentage of hydrogen peroxide, more oxygen would be released, creating the bigger foam. And that's why that happens. And this, I forgot to feel it when it was happening, but I can still feel it, is an exothermic reaction. So it creates heat, which is pretty neat. I'll have to do it again and see if I can feel the heat right away and see if it's a little bit stronger. But all of the little bubbles that are created that were overflowing were created because they were filled with oxygen. So it's pretty neat. Thank you so much. That was a cool experiment. I'll have to try again sometime if I get a hold of a higher hydrogen peroxide percentage. Thank you.